Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Credit Plug channel where we talk about how to build credit, how to establish relationships with banks and financial institutions, and most importantly, how to get you access to high limit credit funding. If that's something you like to listen to, then we definitely welcome you to subscribe. If not, you always like, share, or just comment right down below. So for the past couple days and weeks, I've been covering a lot of credit unions. And I've been meaning to make this video because honestly, I think this credit union that I'm about to review is probably better than all the previous credit unions that I've been covering for the past couple of weeks. So this particular credit union is First Tech Federal Credit Union. So First Tech is based on the West Coast, particularly like in the Portland, Oregon area, or mainly throughout Oregon and like the upper northwest of the United States. So this particular credit union is, however, open to any individual, regardless of what state you're located in. So some of the qualifications, they do have a list of qualified employer groups, or if you live in Oregon, you automatically qualify. But there are two ways for you to become a member if you don't qualify by the employer group or if you don't live within the state. And so the two organizations are the Computer History Museum Association and the Financial Fitness Association. So either of those two groups you can join during your membership application, and you automatically qualify. So that's one of the great benefits with First Tech Federal Credit Union. And so they do a couple things about the application process. They do pull your check system. So if that's an issue, joining First Tech will be an issue, because they do run your check systems report. And then they pull your Experian credit report, and they use the FICO 2 from the data points that I've gathered. They're pulling that FICO 2, which is a pretty dated credit scoring model, but that's just what they use. And the credit pulls are actually good for 30 days. Now, this is a benefit that I've been talking about a lot in terms of utilizing institutions that allow you to apply for multiple credit products using that same hard pull. So if you get approved today for a credit card, maybe like 3 or 4 days later you could apply for a line of credit or something like that without having to get an additional inquiry. And that's very helpful, because normally if you were to get that inquiry will probably drop your credit report, your credit score a couple points, and then that additional inquiry then reduces your probability of approval, from thereafter, until that inquiry, starts to age off. So that's one benefit with First Tech. I spoke about this with several other credit unions that allow you to basically double or even triple dip on credit applications, which is great. So First Tech, the great thing about First Tech, they have some of the best credit cards out here on the market. So I'm going to briefly go over a couple of them. So they do have a secure credit card. I'm not sure if that converts to an unsecured. I have to find out, but I'd be surprised, or I wouldn't be surprised if it did, just given how generous First Tech seems to be. And so I'm just going to start from and go from from the bottom all the way up to the top. So you have the secured card, and then you have a platinum card, a minimum of $500 limit, all the way up to $25,000. You have a platinum rewards card, minimum 500, all the way up to 25,000. And so both of those have 0% APR offers for 12 months on purchases and balance transfers. And then you have the Choice MasterCard. So the Choice MasterCard actually, it has a minimum $10,000 limit and goes as high as $35,000. And that gives you, you get 1x points on certain, several different categories. And then the most important card of all of them is the Odyssey Elite World MasterCard. Now, this is one of the best credit cards out there. I mean, you could put this up there with like the Amex Platinum or like the Chase Sapphire Reserve, at least in my opinion, just given some of the benefits that they have. So they give you 3x points towards travel, 2x towards dining, and then 1x on all others. And then there's a $30,000 bonus when you spend $30 within, $3,000 within the first 90 days. So 30,000 points after you spend 3,000 within the first 90 days. There's no annual fee the first year, but there's a $75 annual fee from on the second year onward. So in that first year, you get a lot of value. And then one of the wildest parts about the Odyssey World Elite MasterCard, it has a minimum $25,000 minimum starting credit limit. So if you get approved for that card, the lowest limit that you could have is 25,000, and it goes all the way up to 100,000. So that's unheard of. I don't know any other cards out there, at least on the personal side, or even credit unions, large banks. There are some that go up to 100,000, but for a credit union, that's pretty high. And to start you with a minimum 25, that might be one of the highest minimum starting balance or minimum starting credit limits among credit cards, at least for the normal credit cards that people are able to get. So yeah, I think that's great. They also have personal loans that you can get up to 50,000 as well, minimum 500 up to 50,000, and then they have lines of credit, a minimum of 500 all the way up to 25,000, but then they have they allow you to pull maximum of $10,000 off at a time. So that's probably going to be like within every 24-hour period and so forth. So yeah, they have a great lineup of products for you to pick and choose from. I would definitely recommend First Tech. Again, just to recap, they do check systems. They do, in certain cases, ask for a POI, which is a proof of income. I think sometimes that's dictated by what your credit score is. So if your credit score exceeds whatever their underwriting threshold is, then sometimes they won't ask you for POI. But if you're kind of around the boundary of what their underwriting criteria is, then they may ask you for POI, which is a proof of income. So sometimes that might just be like pay stubs or a bank statement. And then the hard pulls, again, are good once every 30 days. So you could double dip, triple dip if you want to, which I would highly recommend. They do pull your Experian credit report, and they use the FICO 2 scoring model. So just a couple of tips, if you're interested in applying for First Tech. I'm definitely going to be joining First Tech, probably not right now, just because I have a lot of new accounts that I'll probably wait to age, but they're definitely on my radar. I'll probably join just to plant a seed with them, and maybe 6, 7, 8 months down the road, might see what's up with that Odyssey World Elite MasterCard. But yeah, anyone out there who has a strong Experian, I would definitely go for that World Elite MasterCard. And just from some of the data points that I've gathered, it doesn't seem like, usually with some of the more premium rewards cards, the underwriting is a little bit higher in terms of like threshold. You might be looking at thick credit profiles or credit scores above like a certain threshold, like a 750 or higher. But from some of the data points I've gathered, there's been people who were able to get approved with like 680, 700. Now, again, I don't like generalizing, because you have a 680 with a very thick profile or 700 with a very thick profile. So it's not always predicated on the numeric credit score. But just to point out that, you can get it if you have a solid, you don't need like a 750 or 800 credit score to get the Odyssey World Elite MasterCard, which starts at a minimum $25,000. So yeah, definitely check it out. If there's anyone who's already a member and you just would like to share your experience or data points on First Tech Federal Credit Union, definitely let us know in the comment section down below. And just a reminder to everyone, we are having a live Zoom webinar Sunday, May 3rd from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll post a link in the description. If you're interested, we're going to be covering how to trigger automatic credit approvals, walking through the ins and outs of different underwriting for various different financial institutions, and how to position your credit profile to get the highest chances of approval and to trigger automatic approval. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely check it out. For those who aren't able to attend, we will have a recorded video that we'll send via private YouTube link, so you could check out if you're unable to attend live. But yeah, so that's all I wanted to share for this video. Go check out First Tech Federal Credit Union. It's definitely a gem. And until next time, y'all take it easy, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.